Another big match-up for Manchester United, home to Valencia. This, for me, is the crucial game in the Champions League group for Manchester United. We're not going to beat Juventus the way we're playing at this moment in time unless things dramatically change for Manchester United. New manager comes in, new ideas, something happens dramatically fast. But this is the game that Manchester United have got to be looking to win. Young boys, very, very poor in the group, the worst team in the group, so they're most likely going to finish bottom of the group. So it's Manchester United and Valencia really, from what it looks like, battling out for that second position in the group to qualify as runners up. Now, Valencia lost their first game at home 2-0 to Juventus with Ronaldo sent off. So they were playing against 10 men for a large portion of that game and still lost. They haven't been at their best at all this season in La Liga. They were below the mid-table mark. I think they may have moved up a little tiny bit, but Manchester United also mid-table in the Premier League, and we've been abysmal as well, so Christ knows where this game's going to go. I mean, a draw in this game wouldn't be the end of the world. We could still qualify for the knockout stage, but realistically Manchester United need to be winning this game if we want to qualify. We're going to probably lose the next two games as there are two double headers against Juventus. We'll probably lose both home and away to them. Realistically, 1 point would be a massive bonus out of them two games. Let's be real. We can't expect to get any more than 1 point out of them two games at the absolute most. So realistically, we'll probably lose both them. So if we were to lose this game, that could potentially be 3 games that we could be on the bounce, and we would be on the verge of going out. So if we could win it, that would put us in a massive position. It would put us 6 points ahead of Valencia, which would be clear daylight, because if we lose them 2 games to Juventus, they're probably going to beat Young Boys home and away Valencia, and will be level pegging on 6 points. So, and then Manchester United will have to beat Young Boys at home to get through to the knockout stage. So we've got to win this game really. As I say, the absolute worst would be a point, and that would leave Manchester United probably needing to go to Valencia in the last group game to get the points, and that isn't going to probably be easy. Now, where do Manchester United go? What team does he go for this game? It is a real conundrum for Jose Mourinho. Davide's got to be in goal for me. Then the 2 weak fullbacks, Delo and Shaw, have got to be the fullbacks. We've got to be looking to move forward for Manchester United. Delo, okay, is young and inexperienced right back, but Manchester United paid a lot of money for him. We've got to be looking to bed him in now. We're not performing well. We're performing poorly, Manchester United are. So we've just got to look for positives. And if the team's playing shit, we're losing games, why not try and give this kid more game time? What is the point in keep playing Valencia at right back and Ashley Young at left back or on right back? It makes no sense playing them as full-backs now. It is just no point. When we're losing games anyway, might as well try and move forward. Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia have got to fuck off out of this club. No disrespect to them. They've been good servants to Manchester United, but they need to clear off at the end of this season and just never come back. The 2 centre halves, he's probably going to go with Smalling and Lindelof. I just what fuck we can do there. He's not going to play Eric Bay. He just doesn't seem to fancy Eric Bay, and Eric Bay probably thinks that Jose Mourinho's a cunt anyway. So, and in midfield, Fred, Pogba, and Matic would probably be the preferred pick for me. It probably put Fellaini in there, and probably Fred or Pogba will probably miss out. I've got a feeling probably Pogba won't play in this game. He got oofed off at the weekend, but he wasn't the only one that was bad at all. And when he was in possession of the ball, looking around for teammates, and it was just a disaster for Manchester United. But not the worst player on the pitch, but was oofed off by Jose Mourinho, and obviously there's problems with them too. But the attacking sense, Lukaku really does need to be dropped, but the only option that Jose Mourinho will go with, which I would probably go with, would be to play Marcus Rashford through the middle. I would go with that. Then probably you would probably have to do whatever you want to do with Marshall and probably Alexis Sanchez and Juan Mata or whatever. He probably won't play Marshall again, so we'll go with Alexis Sanchez and Juan Mata on either side. I just don't know what forwards he's going to really go for, but Jesse Lingard seems to be a bit out of favour. I don't know if he's injured or what, but I mean, Jesus, it is a real problem for Manchester United. To be honest, if I was in charge, I wouldn't play Marcus Rashford as a centre forward or Lukaku as a centre forward. I would have given Mason Greenwood a chance a long time ago up front. When this rust, a couple of weeks ago, when this started in that Carabao Cup game, I would have given Mason Greenwood that chance, and I'm sure he would have smashed it. And Jose Mourinho's just completely, I don't know what's going on with him, but he should have given a couple of youngsters a chance in that. And I mean, we lost that game anyway, and some of these players are just performing so poorly. It cannot hurt to give a couple of younger players the opportunity to come in and freshen things up while the heads are so down at the moment. It could just give Manchester United a lift if one or two of them perform well in the first team, but we're not going to see that. But my best option would be to drop Lukaku for this game. I just don't think that Lukaku deserves to start up front in this one. I think Rashford deserves to have a chance up front for Manchester United, or given an attacking option up front for this game. Lukaku has missed far too many chances lately, been bang averaging far too many games this season, and needs to be dropped. I'm a massive fan of Lukaku. He does get a decent amount of goals, but just is missing so many chances this season. And we just need to give another option up front just to see what Rashford can do. If Rashford can put in a good performance, because we know he has got good performances in him. Now, I don't know too much about Valencia. All I know is that they're, as I say, roughly maybe a little bit below mid-table in the La Liga. But Manchester United have got to be going into this game to look to win it. If we do not go on the front foot, then there's going to be so many disgruntled fans in the ground. And to be honest, it does look like it's curtains for Jose Mourinho. I do think that the end is near for him. It is sad to see that the way this is ending. Manchester United finished last season. Okay, we finished on a downer with the FA Cup final being so poor, but we finished second in the Premier League, which wasn't bad considering we were still playing Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia as our fullbacks. I mean, Jesus Christ, they've been past their prime for a long time. I mean, if we had had a couple of good fullbacks and maybe maybe one more centre half and maybe a right winger last season, we could have had a bit more of a crack at it and maybe challenged Man City more for the title. And then it just goes so tits up this season. It is a real shame that it's gone this way, but it does look like the end of the road is near. Too many of these players just don't seem to be wanting to play for the manager. Whether they're actually playing for the manager on the pitch, I don't know. Whether it's his tactics which are causing Manchester United to lose so many points, I just don't know. I think it is a combination of probably both of them. Some players probably aren't putting in the shift that they should be putting in for Jose Mourinho, because they probably are the ones that want him out, and his tactics obviously in that West Ham game were not good enough and were a major part of why we lost. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens in this game and that Newcastle game. But I don't think that this Valencia game would be the final nail in the coffin. I think it would be that Newcastle game. This game is still a massive game. We do need to win it if we want to qualify, but I don't think this is going to be where Jose Mourinho's future lies. I think it's going to be that Premier League, because if we are to get a bad result against Newcastle, it's going to leave Manchester United's chances of top four in tatters, and I think that's going to be more where the future for Jose Mourinho will hit the nail on the head and be given the bullet. I think that this is obviously a luxury. Manchester United want to get through to the next round, but if we were to go into the Europa League, I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world for that. It would be more the fact that if Manchester United just cannot move up the table, are falling so far adrift, if we're getting nearer to the relegation, that has got to be the worry. I mean, if we end up in the next couple of weeks, we're still with Jose Mourinho in charge and we're like 13th, 14th in the league, then that is more of a worry than getting knocked out of the Champions League group stage, because you do not want to get too far near the foot of the table. I mean, Jesus Christ, if we got right near the foot of the table, I mean, Chelsea were like this a few seasons ago under Jose Mourinho, were hovering around, I think it was 14th, 15th position before Chelsea gave him the bullet, and that was after, I think, about 24, 25 games for Jose Mourinho. He hasn't had that many games this season for Manchester United, but the previous season he had won the league for Chelsea, so he hasn't actually won the league for Manchester United the previous season. So, and I think a lot of people inside the club and that are looking back on his previous records at Chelsea, where he has been fired after the 3 seasons and where it's gone tits up at other clubs, and are starting to think that maybe this is the end for Jose Mourinho. But I just think it's stupid. You didn't back him in the summer, and now you're thinking of sacking him now. If you weren't going to back him in the summer, why didn't you clear him out before? If you weren't happy with what he was doing, which it doesn't seem that the club were overly convinced with Jose Mourinho in the summer with not backing him with all the players that he wanted, then why didn't you clear him out in the summer and bring someone else in before the start of the season? It is a bit baffling to me. The club is in a mess, but we will go again. I'm hopeful Manchester United can get the victory. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say Manchester United win this game 2-1. Let's hope we can just claim the victory and move on. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See you.